Ladies and gentlemen, please stand if you're able for the national anthem of Lebanon. Please remain standing if you're able for the national anthem of Republic of India.
The judge, his two assistants. The fourth official for this fixture, Mohammed Mofid from Jordan. The final hurdle before the game gets underway. A couple of changes for Lebanon. Nabaz Zarek and Hatem Saifuddin have been slaughtered in the 11. And out goes William Kiyame in the back line and Adnan Mahdi. They start this fixture out on the bench. Pretty sure will be involved at some stage in the contest. For India, Aslan Shah has been benched out for this fixture and he's replaced by Lesbian Rebello.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've been waiting for. Let the countdown begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And off we go with the first touch, the first move. It's a simple roll back pass. India going from right to left on your screens in their orange strips. Gangte. And pretty solid in the back line there. Jason Finianos takes his position for Lebanon in between the sticks. He's going Leba. Cuts in. We've got the services of Hatem Saifuddin for this fixture. Mark Abi Mansour, Zacharias Oais, and Baker Amin. Antoine Assaf and Paul Makaroun take their place in the center of the pitch for Lebanon. Yusuf Badran, Abbas Zarik, and Rami Malaib, the front three. India have got Rajroop Sarkar, as always, in between the sticks. Mohammad Ahmed bin, Shubham Punia, Karometi, and Lal Sungswala. And solidify the back four. Diamond Singh, Kangte, and Denny Singh through the middle. Lesbin Rebelo, the only change for this fixture, alongside Rangba Seram and Gunleba, the front three for the Blue Colts. An early exchange there. India getting the free kick, looking the ball to drop. Gangte against Paul Macaron. It's Lebanon. Antoine Asaf was cramped for space there. Managed to get it out of that clutter. They've been pretty resilient, Lebanon. Haven't allowed teams to get away. They started with a 0-0 draw against Chinese Taipei and have been to back-to-back pretty good, solid performances coming from behind in those two fixtures. First against Palestine after conceding in the first half. Came back through Rami Malaib's equalizer in the second. And in the last fixture against Iran. Again conceded in the first half, and then a second half equalizer coming courtesy Iyad Eid. And India have ticked most of the boxes. They look to be a pretty confident side. Were held back by Palestine in the first fixture. In the second one, it was a one-sided affair against Chinese Taipei. And barring those two goals India have conceded. And fared well over the 180 minutes of football they have played. The backline has looked pretty solid. Well led by Shubham Punia. Here's Diamond. Lal Sungswala had cut into some sort of space there. Karumeti gives the possession away. Lebanon. And they have managed to get a free kick out of it. A decent opportunity early on for the boys in white to try and put some pressure. Strikes. Hits the woodwork and back. Rami Malib. A decent effort on target. Ismail Kabi Mansoor. Goes with the long ball, a poor first touch. Karumeti plays it safe and goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. And here's a look at Rami Malib's effort. One back by Gangte. Here's Gunleba. Gunleba trying to find an option towards the far right in Lesbian Rebello. Ends up overhitting it. It's been a fantastic campaign so far for Gunleba. He's been the creator-in-chief as far as India goes. Gangte giving it a chase. Serum, beg your pardon. It's Gunleba again on the run and trying to break away inside the box. It cuts in, goes in and out. Here's Gunleba, unleashes a shot on target. How he would have hoped somebody to fly in an orange shirt and find the back of the net on that occasion. Gets away from Markabi Mansoor. First real attempt from India. Nine minutes in and we've already seen attempts on both ends. Lesbian Rebello, the man down in the aftermath of that challenge. Still feeling for it. Doesn't seem to be too comfortable. And the play goes on. Here's Kangte. Lifted in. Gunleba. And clearance just in the nick of time from that back line. Here's Kangte. And gets the shot blocked. The ball finds Lal Songzwala, who lifts in. And playing a high line at the moment are the Blue Colts. Here's Shubham Punia. The diamond. Karumeti couldn't quite get the clearance and draw some pressure. Here's Lebanon. And India defending pretty compact and defending in numbers. Zakaria. Rami Al-Ladiki. Has been the helm of affairs for a good part of 5-6 months. Nearly took his side to the first major title earlier this month. They've been the runners-up in Lebanon of the WAF Championship 2025. They've been the runners-up of that competition a couple of times. Lost to Saudi Arabia this year. Here's Bibiano Fernandez, the India under-17 head coach. Won the SAF Championship, their 7th title earlier this year. Zacharias, Anthony Shaheen, all the way back to Jason Finianos. And tries to thread one through towards the other side and find Asaf Mskunleba. And that has been cut short by Yusuf Badran. Yusuf is entering Asaf for the overlapping mark. Mansoor. And keeping it pretty tight are the Blue Coals in the early part of the first half. It's Lesbian. And the referee brings a stop to the play as Paul Macaron has gone down on the pitch. Almost 14 minutes in the first half and the deadlock yet to be broken. It's a very vital contest of Group D. There's a lot at stake for India. A clash of the heads there. And Friday evening, and a decent turnout as always when the Blue Coats are playing. Paul Macaron leaves the scene momentarily. He'll be back on the pitch pretty shortly. Shubham Punia. Taken away by Lebanon. And pretty hurry clearance there from an orange shirt. Here's Lesbian Rebelo. He's dropped in deep. And India get the free kick. Wasn't being allowed to turn there. Hirang Baseram. Zacharias using full force to try and deny that sort of room. Gangte fresh from a hat-trick in the previous fixture. Gante Goes for goal and lifted well over the target. Jenny Singh and Dalal Moon Gangte have been the pivotal part in the center of the pitch for India. Been sublime with their ball distributions. The link up with the likes of Kunleba Aslan in a couple of fixtures has been absolutely brilliant. We'll have to try and get that consistency going. Almost leaping on his opposite number there. Another press from Gunleba. Mar gets away with the ball. Here's Yusuf Badran trying to cut inside. Still Yusuf with a delightful ball. And straight towards Rajroop Sarkar. India. And sticking to the proclivities of trying to play out from the back. Here's Shubham. Plays it down the line. 2v1. Still India have the ball. Here's Serum. And the crowd is getting involved as we enter the 18th minute of the first half with no goals to show. Kangte lifts one over. Here's Gunleba. He had to hit the target. And again, the vision before the runner believes. Gangte, the man, finding Gunleba. And the sublime pass. Plays for Northeast United FC. Gunleba, definitely the hottest prospect as far as the youth football goes. And here's Gunleba into the picture again. And Serum to Gangte. Simon Singh, Leswin Rebelo. India trying to up the ante as we can see the overlapping run coming in from Eamon. Leswin. Anthony. Seram on the press. Zacharias and Soram going toe-to-toe, but in the end, and it's going to be a goal kick for... hang on, looks like it's been a free kick that has been awarded India's way. And defending job for the boys in white. Lebanon yet to qualify for the Asian Cup. Yet to qualify for the Under-17 FIFA World Cup. And they'll have to wait as the having a word before the free kick and getting things aligned. The ref. Diamond Singh. Lalsangwala. Here's Diamond. Who cuts it back. Gangte searching for it. And puts it wide. Has taken a deflection on its way through. Looks like Gunleba wanted a free kick of a different kind. Through a forest of legs, unleashes on a shot on target. Corner. It comes off a white shirt in the end. And Danny Singh targeting the back post there. And Shubham Punia has already scored once from a set piece in the very first fixture against Palestine. He was flying in for that ball. Antoine Asaf. Mark. It's all the way back to Jason Finianos. And that's going to be a free kick for Lebanon. And Karumaiti flying high. Has been spoken to by the ref. It's been somber 23 minutes with an occasional moment of spark as Lebanon takes this free kick. And Danny Singh with the clearance. Lesbian Rebelo. And gives the possession away. Here's Anthony Shaheen. Looks up. Floats a ball forward towards the white shirt. Looks like it was a handball in the box by Yusuf Badran. Yusuf Badran, the number 11 at the bottom of your screen. Scored in the semi-final of the WAF Championship versus Syria. That got cancelled out by Bakar at the 90th minute mark. Went on to win that fixture. Is Lebanon and throwing in the numbers forward is Antoine Asaf and Shubham Punia. And I guess the strike block is going to be a corner for Lebanon. And moving the ball with great intensity. The boys in white. Antoine Asaf behind this one. Targets the back post. Strong hands of Rajroop Sarkar. And there was a follow-up shot, but again dealt with by an orange shirt. And squares it up towards Antoine Asaf again, who makes room and unleashes a shot. Oh, that's gone in! That's a brilliant strike from Antoine Asaf, who gets Lebanon ahead at the stroke of 26th minute here in Ahmedabad. A moment of brilliance for the team from West Asia. No one attacking the ball from India's perspective. The first touch to trap it, and then takes it away towards his left and unleashes hell towards Rajroop Sarkar, who had no chance whatsoever. India have come from behind in the last fixture, and they'll have to do it again. And for the first time in this qualifying group, Lebanon are leading. And it will be the test of nerves, a test of character for the boys playing in orange as Lebanon march forward once again. And Gunleba is away here, breaking into the box. Gunleba! Brilliant move from India. Well held by Jason Finianus. And Seram dropping in deep, creating an opportunity for number 20. Didn't catch clean on that occasion. Another free kick for a foul on Yusuf Badran. And they'll have to maintain their calm, India. Still a long way to go in this game. And there will be nerves jangling, especially with the qualification for grab. It's a must-win situation for them. And Lebanon will play pretty freely. Wasted opportunity there by Rami Malab. And scored once in the game against Palestine. Kangte. A misplaced pass from the India captain. And sigh of relief for Rami Al-Ladiki. In case if it's your first time here on FIFA Plus, this is Group D of the AFC Asian Cup qualifiers. And 38 teams competing across 7 different venues. Brilliant move from India. And Daman Singh. Here's Gunleba again. And towards the left, the area that he's made his own. Gunleba. Cut out by Yusuf Badran on that occasion as India prepare for another corner through Danny Singh. And Danny keeps it short this time. Lifted in again. A header goes wide of the target. And Siram with a high press. And joined in by Gunleba and Gangte. And forcing Lebanon to go all the way back. Here they come out with a long ball forward. Here's Antoine Asaf. Going in full circle. Mark. ball. And finds some space in front of him. Goes for a ball forward. And Rajrup Sarkar comes out early and makes a routine save in the end. Antoine Shaheen. Again, the RE has to try and get Yusuf Badran on the ball. And this time starting out from an offside position. And played in by Shubham Munya and Karo Maiti. It's Diamond. Doesn't have enough passing options and tries to find Gangte in the middle. And not on the same wavelength there. Seraman Gunleba. So 38 teams competing, divided into 7 groups. And 3 groups of 6 each and 4 groups of 5. Being played out at different venues across Asia. And this is the Group D, consisting of India, Palestine, Lebanon, Iran and Chinese Taipei. And at the moment, Iran with 7 points find themselves in a very comfortable position right on top of the table. Enjoy a high goal difference of 7. India at the moment with 4 points from the 2 games they've played. This is their 3rd fixture. They play Iran on the 30th of November. The 7 teams progress to join the 9 teams who have automatically qualified as the teams competing in the Under-17 FIFA World Cup in Qatar next year. And still got 10 minutes left in the normal time, plus the stoppages to follow. And yeah, did have a couple of chances in the first half. And haven't been able to convert those. It's a decent turnout again on a Friday night. In all the games involving the home country, we have seen fans coming out in numbers to support. And we expect on Sunday as well, on the last day, you will see a decent turnout as well. Skangte. Danny Singh still has the ball. As he marches forward, gets the cross. Meant to Insaf. Taken away by Lawson Zwala, who's cut inside. Release was for good Labour. Couldn't quite get to the end of it. Lesman Rebelo is dropped in deep to support the defense. Gets dropped off the ball. Here's Paul Macaroon. Plays it down the line towards his left. Lebanon on the ascendancy. They've got inside the box. Squared up nicely. This could be a glorious opportunity. That's gone in. Takes the deflection and finds the back of the net. Lebanon have doubled up their lead. Catastrophe unfolding in front of the Blue Colts at the moment. It's Paul Macaron who gets on the score sheet. That was far too easy. A straight ball down the left channel. Managed to get the cross in and had acres of space in front of him to unleash the shot towards the target. And takes the deflection on its way through, but it doesn't matter. The ball has found its home. India will have to come from behind twice. And the fans are making themselves heard here for the home side. Here's Seram trying to link up. Taken away by Antoine Asaf. Yusuf Bazran. It has been pulled back. Looks like for a handball. They've been pretty patient with their attacks. They've seized their moment. Some sort of brilliance. Here's Mark. Still twisting and turning. Unluckily for India, there wasn't the presence of a white shirt. As soon as Mark Abi Mansoor squared it up. Lal Sungswala. It's much better. And steps up. And again, a wrong decision to concede the possession, but India find the ball back straight away. It's Gangte. Given away by India once again as Lebanon march forward, breaks inside the box. Rajroop Sarkar has been called into action once again. Nothing significant has come from the right channel of the pitch as far as India goes. Labour has made the difference from the left, but it's Lebanon. And support from Dennis Singh to win the possession back. He's feeling the aftermath of that challenge. He's down on the ground. Lebanon, the play goes on. And tries to tuck one in. And gets the shot blocked. Yusuf Badran. Still with Yusuf. And knocks it out of the play for a player down in an orange to be addressed by the medical staff. Dennis Singh. What a first half it is for Lebanon. 2 goals to the good. And not a pleasant sight. And if you are an Indian fan, it looks like there is a signal for a change there. It seems to be all right. Dennis Singh has been the pivotal part in the center of the pitch, along with the captain, Gangte. They've gone unchanged in the first couple of games, in the second game perhaps, and today making that one change of getting Lesbian Rebelo to start out in the right position, the right winger's position in place of Aslan Shah. I'm not quite sure what transpired that move, because we haven't seen enough runs coming in from the right, or those crosses that Aslan was effectively doing. He will eventually be taken out of action, Denny Singh. And he will be cheered off the ground as his contributions come to an end for tonight.
Substitution for India. Player number 23.
Tutong has taken his place in the center of the park. And had a decent game when he came out off the bench against Chinese Taipei. Tumugang Tutong. Zacharias for Jason. Jason again with a long ball. Shubham Punia deals with it ease. Niskaro Meti. Heyman. Again, Heyman losing out on the possession. 5 minutes have been added on as stoppages. A back flick to find number 19. Here's Lebanon. Abbas Zarik had to keep that shot on target. It was a lovely little movement down the left channel. Here's Gangte. And again a misplaced pass. Anthony Shaheen finding Yusuf Badran, who drives in forward and squares it up. Diamond Singh hustling to get the ball away from Mark Abi Mansoor. India managed to get the free kick here. And can they try and get one goal to the least back before the half-time whistle goes off? Shubham going sideways, try and stretch the play towards the other side. Here's Eamon. Shubham again. Launches one in the air. And the flag was up. You might as well expect a couple of changes with the start of the second half for the Blue Colts. Clearly, the first half hasn't gone their way at all. Not in terms of the goal, definitely not in terms of the way they would have liked to approach this vital contest. Here's Gunleba. Swapped out possessions to it. Lesvin Rebelo. This Lesvin showing his physicality. Tutong doesn't find an option to progress further. Finds Maithi in the back. Here's Ayman. And India get the free kick with 1 minute and a few seconds left in the stoppage time. He's been told to go back there, Thutong. There's an offside flag against a white shirt. Here's Lasungswala. Nudges it forward, and it's going to be a free kick for India. In the dying moments before the half-time whistle gets in the way. Almost leaping on to Lasungswala was Makabi Mansoor. Floated in towards the target. Jason Finianus gleefully accepts it. Is Paul Macaroon, the scorer of the second Lebanese goal. And fouled by Conte. And that's the end of the first set of 45 minutes here in Ahmedabad. And India are chasing the game. And it's been a brilliant first half for Lebanon. 2 goals to the good as we go into the half-time break. Antoine Asaf scoring an absolute screamer at the 26th minute mark, and then Paul Macaron doubling up their lead. India did have a couple of half chances, but nothing tangible in the first 45. They come back with all to do in the second. We'll have to wait and see how they manage to get there. It's going to be a frantic second set of 45 minutes coming our way after we come back from this bit of a breather. Do stay with us at the start of the second half. Moment, India are reeling. They're chasing this game from 25th minute onwards. Lebanon find themselves in a comfortable position at the half-time break. It was a very good first set of 45 for Lebanon. A couple of changes for the India side as we see the introduction of Mukundo Singh and Aslan Shah. India going from left to right on your screens. A good start and an early goal is what they need in the second half here, the Blue Coals. First half clearly not going their way, conceding twice in a space of about 9 minutes. Brilliance of Antoine Asaf and then followed up by Paul McAround. Early signs there to try and put some pressure, not allowing here Seram to turn. It's got themselves a free kick. Tutang and Lal Sungswala. And behind this one, definitely in the range for Lal Sungswala. Tutang leaves it for Lal Sungswala and straight into the wall. And plays it towards his right and finds Tutang, who drives forward. Who gets the cross. Aslan sets it up for Mukondo. And still Mukondo gets dispossessed. Here's Ayman. Back with Ayman again. And India get another free kick with a foul on Lesvin Rebelo. Takes a touch, and as he turns, Bakar Amin is catching his foot. From the same sort of a range, Lal Sungswala will have to redo this. Can he try and get it better this time? He leaves it for Tuthing. And it's been stopped by the ref. And Shubham Punia and Paul Macaron has been spoken to by Wissam Rabi. A three-man wall in front of Lal Sungswala. Tutong, this time obvious the monotony and goes for goal. Routine collection in the end for Jason Finianus. Brilliant skill from Antoine Asaf. Lesbin. Here's Mukundo. 3v1. Loses out on the possession. Here's Abbas. And Diamond performing his defensive duties quite well. Anthony Shaheen. And Diamond again. Ayman again, beg your pardon. Goes for a diagonal ball for Aslan Shah. He had to get his first touch. And started the last two fixtures, Aslan. The only downside was couldn't quite convert. And otherwise, has been pacey. His crossing has been decent. And has been introduced with the start of the second half. Plays for Minerva. He scored in the semi-finals of the SAF Championship against Nepal. There's Lesbian trying to cut down on the angles. And passing a set of instructions there, Ramia Ladiki. Here's Aslan giving it a chase. And a push from Aslan into Makabi Mansoor. And the ref there just trying to calm things down. Apologetic straight away was Aslan Shah. It was the coming together of Jason and Makabi Mansoor. It got a bit nasty in the end. Very concerned corner, Bimia Fernandez. They'll have to try and get something out of somewhere. If it ends the way it is, Iran will be on top of the table, followed by Lebanon in second place. India third with fourth. Then Palestine in Chinese Taipei. India, it's a must-win game for them. And clearly, we've been outdone by the goal difference of Iran. And Jason back on his feet. And there comes the caution for time wasting. Zacharias. Anthony Shaheen launches one in the air. And Karumeti heads it back to his keeper. Mukundo Singh scanning for options continuously, dabs one down the line and finds Seram. Seram, no space for him to turn. Here's Mukundo again on the ball and finds an option towards his left. Goes lateral, push forward by Losungzwala. Aslan. A bit of a change of pace in the end. Wasn't sure about the weight on the ball. Mukundo. It's looked lively since he has come on the pitch. Mukundo Singh. Lose out on the possession in the center of the pitch. One back by Shubham Punia. Mukundo, a lovely little turn from him. A free kick here. Brilliant turn, brilliant feed. Heyman. He checks his shot and goes towards Karumeti. Lal Singzwala. Azlan, lovely first touch. Here's Azlan making a bit of space, but there's no room to unleash that. Here's Tutang. Lal Singzwala and Heyman have stayed wide and higher up on the pitch to try and support the attacking moves. When in possession, the back four becomes back two. Pushed forward. Here's Serum. Diamond Singh. High pressure from Lebanon. Here's Shubham Punia marching forward. Shubham. Lovely little layoff with Mukundo. Lal Singzwala. Whistle goes against Rangba Senam on that occasion. For a handball. 57 minutes have been ticked off here. Lebanon in a comfortable position with 2 goals on the score sheet. Both scored in the first half. Jane Mukundo. Threads it through and called into action for the very first time in the second half was Rajroop Sarkar. And that is something they've done marvelously right throughout this game. They've waited for their moments and have found one brilliant delivery into the final third. Rami Malaib finding Yusuf Badran on that occasion. Almost pokes it towards the goal. Corner for Lebanon. Targets the front post. Back with Mark Abi Mansour, who lifts one in. Bazarik with a header. Rami again. Rami again driving forward. Taken out by Tutong. There's Paul. Carries it forward and has found an option towards the right. Here's Azlan. There's a lot of pace about him. Another change for India. Diamond Singh is going to come off and he will be replaced by Muhammad Jasir Khan. Slotting in another forward option is Bibiano Fernandez. Shepherds that one well in the end, did Karao Methi. And sends it behind for another corner to Lebanon at the stroke of an hour mark here in Ahmedabad. Heads it, here's Paul. Heads it behind for Anthony Shaheen. Here's Bakr. All the way back to Jason. Hatem. Knocks it down into the path of Abbas Zarik. Hatem again stepping up. And comes in contact with Lesbin Rebelo. Goes down on the ground for a free kick. It was Eamon, in fact. Sparker for Anthony Shaheen. Here's Mark. Lifts one inside the box. Just over the crossbar. And had it covered there, Rajroop Sarkar. He's had a good game. Mark Abi Mansoor has put in a proper shift from the back four. Jasir. And it's going to be a corner for India. Aslan Shah. Couldn't quite be the first line of defense with that corner. Here's Tuthang back with Aslan. Aslan again driving forward. Is being brought down on the ground. Will be a free kick for India. Again 2v1 in that pocket. Goes for the challenge and finds the man. Tuthang and Heyman. The notable sub, the player that has been taken off at the start of the second half, has been Gunleba. I'm not quite sure if that's the force changed, but targets the back post. Strong hands from Jason Finianos. A shove in the back of Lesbin Rebelo by Paul McAround has got India another free kick. Time is running out for India. They'll have to try and strike one as soon as they can. Anxious moments for all these fans, holding their collective breath as Aslan Shah stands behind this one. There's Ayman and Toothing alongside him. They leave it for Aslan, who lifts one over. An easy save in the end for Jason. Karometi keeping Ramim alive in his tracks. Smukondo. Shubham hurls it away. The ball finds Aslan towards the left. He breaks into the box, gets across. Might have been a touch too early. Had an option waiting in front of the target there. A set of instructions being thrown from the touchline by Bibiano Fernandes. Here's Jasir. Loses out in the possession, hustling his way to win it back. Does well. Here's Jasir Khan. Still Jasir. Lesbin. Ayman sends the cross in. Here's the first goal scorer, Antoine Asaf. Tuthong reads that one well and wins the possession for the side. Here's Lebanon on the ascendancy. Abbas Zariq driving away inside the box now. And that attack is short-lived from Lebanon's perspective. It's Tuthong. Weighs his options, doesn't find one in front. He's been forced to go behind towards Mohammed Ayman. And Tuthong going in full circle. And 23 minutes after this. Nicked away by Ayman. Mukondo finds Aslan towards his left, one-on-one with Zakarios. He gets across. He'll have to try and finish it well. Yes, that's what he wanted. Vasangzwala. Lesbin. You can see the foul and a free kick to Lebanon. They've defended well and stayed compact. Lebanon. In the first half, they've cut out the Gunleba factor. And waited for their moments to attack and have finished well. Ticked all boxes in the first and second half. And yeah, might just claim they've come close. It hasn't been close enough to scoring. Here's Paul Macaron. Rami for Antoine Asif. He's got a lot of space ahead of him. And driving forward, does well, squares it up nicely. And couldn't quite get the clearance right. Here's Asaf. Goes goalwards. Shubham. He's a rush down the line towards Tooting. Goes long to find his launch shot. In the end finds Jason Finianus. So 70 minutes almost have been ticked off. 2-0 to Lebanon. Both goals scored in the first half. Antoine Asaf and Paul Macron, the goal scorers. Here's Lebanon once again. Backpedaling is Shubham Punia. Leashes the shot on target. So nearly could have been the third one. Yusuf Badran stepping over as he stepped in. Goes in and out and has a jibe by the target. Don't miss by, but might have taken something on his way through. And cleared away, but not enough. Another corner. Sustained pressure from Lebanon. India can't allow another one to go in. It's been a daunting task already chasing this game. Antoine Asaf and targets the back post. And punches it away. Rajroop Sarkar. Here's Jasir. Heyman. Mukundo. Lovely first touch. Fortunately, the ball finds an orange shirt. He couldn't quite keep the possession. Here's Antoine Asaf again. Has run this midfield right throughout these 70 minutes. Has dominated the possession. Has been distributing it really well to those playing up the pitch for Lebanon. Aslan on the ball. Jasir calling for it. Gets it in early. It's going to be a card out for Mohammad Jasir Khan. I went for the man straight away. Still struggling to get on his feet there. Mark Abi Mansour. It seems to be okay now. High press from India. Lebanon. Anthony Shaheen. Yusuf Badran now. Abi Mansour. In dancing forward, Mukundo Singh gets hard with the ball. Here's Ayman. Waits for the run from Jasir Khan. Here's Jasir. Ayman again. Leases a shot on target. Here's Aslan. Couldn't quite bring it down. Shubham back with Tutong as he drives forward this time. Trying for a layoff with Jasir Khan. Doesn't quite come off that well. And hurries the ball away into those opens. Here's Eamon. Comes all the way back to perform his defensive duties. Maiti sends it straight down. Here's Jasir, who's won the ball back eventually. India leaves a shot on target and goes well over. And again, Jason has been spoken to by the ref. India nicks the ball back. Here's Mukundo Singh. This could be the moment. And a brilliant save by Jason Finianos. Again, cutting down on the angle. Not allowing Lebanon to play out from the back. Mukundo. They have to score, India. Time is running out for them. Just got 14 minutes left. Change for Lebanon. Adnan Madi. Scored in the WAF Championships finals. Adnan Madi. Targets the back post. And everyone is marked. No place to move forward for the Blue Colts. Being pretty organized. Lebanon. And that is the brand of football they've played right throughout. There's a card shown to one of the Lebanese officials by the touchline. Ayman, who finds an orange shirt. Lal Sangzwala. Has been brought down. Looks like it's going to be a free kick for India. We'll have to try and fancy this one from the angle. Lal Sangzwala. It was a handball. Beg your pardon. Couldn't quite cover it from the position where I'm in. I'll have to sometimes estimate it from the rows of the crowd. Shubham Punia behind this one with 11 minutes to play in the normal time. Can he be the man to try and claw India back into this contest? And Shubham Punia was just over the target. It was well worked. Just didn't get enough tip towards the very end. And Jason Finianos again being attended by the medical staff. Allows a bit of a breather and an opportunity for them to hydrate themselves. Rami Al-Ladiki with a set of instructions like he's always been thrown in for the 80 minutes. He took charge of this side in July. Came pretty close to winning the WAF championship earlier this month. The final was played on the 4th of November. Went down to Saudi Arabia in the penalties in Jordan. Ricochets and goes behind for Rajroop Sarkar. Shubham Punia. India get the free kick. Last 10 minutes. It's going to get intensified with every passing minute here. In India, if they score, they'll surely take this game to Lebanon. And whatever is left in the second half, lifted in. And Tuthong again winning the possession back. Lesbian Rebelo brings it down, back with Tuthong. Heavy first touch. Lebanon win the possession as they march forward with Adnan Mahdi. He's been pinned down in that corner, but has got his side a free kick. Karu Mehdi following his man, and then the challenge. Clearly hasn't been India's game so far in the 82 minutes that have been played out here. And forces a save out of Rajroop Sarkar, and here's Aslan Shah. With a quick restart. Might just throw in a last ice. Bibiano Fernandez, as you can see, some movement down the touch line. Rehan Ahmed is being prepared for a sub-in. Jasir Serum loses footing. Here's Rami. Ayman gets it out of that clutter. Here's Aslan Shah marching forward, draws down the center and leashes a shot which gets blocked eventually. Ayman again on the ball. 2v1 and Ayman loses out on the possession. Here's Tuthong. Lesbin, back with Lesbin from Ayman. And that gives an opportunity for Rehan Ahmed to be introduced. And that's the end of the day as far as Seram is concerned. He's had a couple of opportunities in the dying moments of the games before. Rehan Ahmed. There's Antoine Asaf, beg your pardon. Jason to Zacharias. Anthony Shaheen. Headed out by Shubham Punia. There's Mukundo. Lesbin. Getting sustained pressure on Lesbin Rebelo. Forces him to give the possession away. Here's Shubham Punia again on the ball. Still waiting for that free-flowing Indian move. Floated in forward and dealt well by Hatem. Tutong looking for the right option. And keeping it pretty tight still are Lebanon. India march forward once again. Cut back towards Aslan Shah. Tries to create some new room. Lasungzwala. Here's Aslan again. Pushes it inside the box towards Mukundo Singh. Here's Lasungzwala. He gets the cross. And he's put it wide of the target. And that just sums up the day as far as India goes. And Jasir Khan. It was Lesbin, beg your pardon. Has managed to put that away. Not quite sure how much was a distraction was Jasir on that occasion. Rami. Zeman. Aslan now. And trying to bring it forward is Tutong. And Shepherds that well. Mark Mansoor. Lasungzwala. Yemen. He's put in a decent work rate. Mohammad Ayman. He's from Manipur. Made his debut for Sudeva Delhi FC at the Delhi Premier League. It was last year when he was aged 14. And since then has gone on to represent India at the SAF Championship as well as here at the AFC Qualifiers. There's Mukundo. A nudge towards the side by Shubham Punia to find Ayman. Here's Maiti. And dabs it down the line and nicked away by a white shirt. Hatem Saifuddin is marching forward. It's pretty strong, but has given the position away. In fact, has been taken down in the book. Used his body well. Tutong. India through Aslan Shah. An overlapping run from Lasungzwala. Has been pinned down in that corner. Back with Aslan. With dummies and gets the ball inside the box. But again, draws a clearance as we enter the final minute of the normal time. Here's Aslan. Cutting it back on his right foot. Overhead. Couldn't quite get the execution. Ayman fighting tooth and nail. It's Rami Malaib. Here's Ayman, who comes off with the ball and gets the cross in. And does well to bring it down. Mukundo Singh. Here's Tu Thong. Launches one in the air into the box. Brilliant defensive work by Lebanon, and they get the possession back eventually. 6 minutes have been added on. It's going to be a daunting task for India. It's been that way right throughout most parts of the last 60 minutes or so. Chuthong. Fine tickle to get it away from Mukundo. Here's Lebanon on the ball once again. It's been a very solid defensive display as well from Lebanon. They haven't allowed India to get away at any stage in the game. They waited for their moments and find the right sort of spaces to attack and have scored those two brilliant goals. And taking control of the situation is Wissam. They haven't left the stadium. Came in pretty high spirits. Wanted to see an India win that they've been thoroughly enjoyed. The good game of football for the entirety of the 90 minutes. Aslan Lansingwala, beg your pardon. Duthong. Space in front. Rehan trying to find Aslan with a cute little nudge towards his left. Shubham Karumaiti finds Ayman taking his position wide on the right and cutting in. Mukundo takes turns. Mukundo finds Ayman, takes a decent touch, changes his feet, and gets the shot blocked in the end. Mukundo gets the ball snatched off his feet. Here's Lebanon. Another of their clearances. Finds Shubham Punia. A straight pass towards Rehan Ahmed. There's Lansingwala. We're talking about seconds now from India's perspective and their chances of the qualification. Antoine Asaf. It's been a brilliant game for the number 21. A couple of changes for Lebanon as we enter the last 90 seconds. Waji Waizani has been introduced. It's been flagged offside. The flag has gone up eventually. And there comes the whistle. Amir Ali Izzuddin has taken his position on the pitch and starts off by being flagged offside. And dying embers of the game. We'll have to wait and see how many seconds will the ref allow. And Paul. There wasn't a calling for that. It's all breaking loose here. Tutong. Lets it go. And the refereeing contingent doing their best to resolve the situation. Definitely wasn't in the best of taste. It was a shirt pull, push. And it's going to have a word with the assistants there. Wissam Rabi. Has held his game really well right throughout the 90 minutes. And there comes a straight red on the number 6. Togumang Tutong. Goes for the ball, doesn't get it. And Paul Macaron from behind a shirt pull. Shubham heads it down and cleared away again by Said. And that's the end of the 90 minutes here in Ahmedabad. And a thumping victory for the West Asian side. Lebanon scoring twice in the first half. And India with no repost for the entirety of the game. Looked completely out of sorts, but Lebanon are the jubilant side at the end of both the halves. And the fans came out in numbers to support the home side. In the end, have enjoyed a good game of football. Handshakes all around. Good to see Karumeti and Adnan Madi. The handshake. Hasn't been there clearly. came into this contest after a very good performance against Chinese Taipei side at Lebanon. Proved too hot to handle for the Blue Colts. India still got a game to go on Sunday. And that is going to be against the Islamic Republic of Iran, who are currently the group leaders with 7 points from the 3 games they have played and enjoying a healthy goal difference